soon, depending on where you are listening to us from. Welcome to Sunrise on Radio Biafra 102.1 FM. My name is Sochim Mbanali, and it is an absolute pleasure to be with you here every morning on Radio Biafra London. Here we seek to conscientize you. Here we seek to motivate you. Here we seek to entertain you. This is Sunrise, and we are streaming live on Facebook and various apps such as Radio Biafra and Ipob Community Radio. You can also join us by visiting our website on ipob.org and radiobiafra.co. radiobiafra.co. If you are anywhere in Biafra land and in some other parts of the zoo, you can tune in by going to 102.1 FM on your transistor radio. 102.1 FM on your transistor radio. I encourage you to join us in our march to mental emancipation by sharing this information with your family and friends. Do not forget to follow and like us on our various platforms on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Before we begin, I would like to apologize for two reasons. One, yesterday I was unable to be here. Yesterday I couldn't meet up because of load shedding, electricity power outage. It went off exactly by the time that I'm supposed to come on air, and load shedding takes 2 hours. Every load shedding takes 2 hours. In a day it can go 3 different times, and that would be 2 hours each time. So it could be 2 hours by 5, and that would be 5 to 7. That is 6 South Africa time until 8. Yeah. But Biafra, it's 5 Biafra time to 7. And then perhaps in the afternoon again there will be another 2 hours. I said perhaps, depending on how the schedule is. The schedule changes every day. It is not the same time that it goes. Sometimes it doesn't even, the power stays, and sometimes it does not. So due to power outage yesterday, I was unable to be here. And today, the second reason why I'm apologizing is because we started late today, and it's also as a result of load shedding. There was power outage by it's 3 Biafra time. Yeah, there was power outage by 3 Biafra time, only to come back by 5 on the dot. So some minutes past 5 actually. So which made it hard for me to begin exactly by the time we're supposed to begin. But we are here, and I want to thank you very much for being part of this program this morning. I say thank you very much for joining us this morning. It is an honor to be here once more to be able to communicate with you. And because we are already running behind schedule, let us just go straight into it. First of all, I am calling on Nigeria government once more for the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released by the Nigeria government. I call on them to obey the rulings of various courts of competent jurisdiction. These various courts declared the abduction and continued incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as illegal and a crime against humanity. Nigeria, as a democratic country, is expected to put their law first. Their law says that extraordinary rendition is a crime, but this is a crime that they willingly went into and participated. This is a crime that Nigeria is Nigeria is responsible for. Nigeria committed this crime. They should therefore obey their own law and release this innocent man. You will recall that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, was abducted from Kenya by Nigeria government on the 19th of June 2021. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was tortured in Kenya for 8 days, after which he was forcefully brought into Nigeria. And since then, he has been unlawfully held in the dungeon of the Nigeria Secret Service known as DSS in Abuja. I want to also remind the Nigerian government that on the 20th of July 2022, the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention unequivocally declared that the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in violation of international human rights covenants, and United Nations ordered his immediate and unconditional release. It is such a shame that Nigeria government has continued to snub this opinion in their usual way. It is such a shame that Nigeria government has blatantly refused to obey the orders of various courts of competent jurisdiction. These courts discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Instead, the Nigeria government have continued to subject him to immense torture. This torture is deliberate. Nigeria government is deliberately subjecting him to torture in order to inflict severe physical and psychological torture on this innocent man, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Recall that despite the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being in the Nigeria court, the same government put plans into action in order to assassinate him. In order to assassinate this innocent man who committed no crime. How can a man's case be in court and the government that has charged him to court still attempt to assassinate him? So on that fateful day in September 2017, the Nigeria government set in motion their instruments of extermination by sending their army and security agencies to kill Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thankfully, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu managed to escape, but the Nigeria government ended up killing at least 27 people in his home that day. They killed everything that moved, to the point that the family dog was not left alone. The family dog was killed. Despite committing such atrocities in broad daylight, the Nigeria government went ahead to propagate the lie that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. Can you imagine? They went ahead to propagate to lie to the world that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom they tried to assassinate, that he jumped bail. The Nigeria media, they helped to propagate this lie. They helped to sell this lie, to tell the world that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. But today, the Nigeria court has already made it clear that this man had no option. He had to flee. But the crazy thing is that Nigeria media, they knew, knowing fully well that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu only escaped assassination attempt by the government. This same government that took him to court. Yet they allowed the government to bully them into selling such a message. After the Nigeria government funded assassination attempt on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu failed, they trailed him until 2021 when they abducted him from Kenya. And since then, he has been going through severe torture in the hands of the Nigeria government. We all know the story of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, The story of an honest man who saw Nigeria for exactly what it is, a crime against humanity. In a bid to ensure the survival of his race, he embarked in creating awareness concerning the hellhole that this contraption is. He went in creating awareness about the disaster that is descending into this zoo, this contraption. And today, like a prophet, his words are unfolding before our eyes. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a Biafran-born activist. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is actively involved in advocating for the rights of the Biafran people who are forcefully trapped in the zoo called Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra TV. He is also the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, the largest mass movement in the world today that is focused on the task of seeking for self-determination for the Biafran people through a United Nations supervised referendum. Our desire for a United Nations supervised referendum and the awareness of this desire, just like the United Nations acknowledged in their opinion to Nigeria in their July 2022 opinion, as it pertains the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, makes many wonder why there seem not to be any known tangible action that they are carrying out towards bringing Nigeria to the table where discussion about achieving this self-determination responsibility that they have is tabled. This is owing to the fact that according to the United Nations Charter of Self-Determination, self-determination is the right of all indigenous people. All, not some. And Biafrans are no exception to this. Therefore, it is reasonable to think that to the United Nations, the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his continued torture by the Nigeria government is more than enough to convince and to confirm the veracity of the accusations by the Biafran people that we are being subjugated, that we are being dehumanized by this contraption. In addition to the troubles of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there are thousands and thousands of Biafrans scattered all over different dungeons operated by the Nigeria government. Biafrans are going through so much in the hands of the Nigeria government. With what is happening, is it not time that a referendum is conducted for the Biafran people? Is it not time that we are allowed to go our own way? What crime did we commit? What crime did these people commit? Scattered all over the world, what crime did we commit? Our crime is simply because we are born Biafrans. Our crime is simply because Britain forced us into Nigeria and we are saying no, we do not subscribe to the idea of Nigeria. We do not subscribe to the ideals of Nigeria. Because Biafran people want to identify with who they are. And because of that, the unworkable Nigeria government, instead of trying to fix the system in the interest of Nigeria, resorted to abductions. They resorted to rape. They resorted to extrajudicial killings. They resorted to massive destruction of lives and properties. They thereby solidified the notion amongst Biafrans, the notion amongst every person of goodwill that the continued existence of Nigeria is a crime against humanity. It is very clear to all and sundry that Nigeria is not sustainable. Nigeria is not sustainable. Therefore, is it not best to discuss the presentations made by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Is it not best to release this innocent man so that we can have a conversation concerning a referendum? A referendum for a peaceful disintegration of the contraption we call Nigeria. This is the only viable solution to the mess that Nigeria is in today. Nigeria is not helping the interest of Nigerians. Therefore, why must Nigeria continue to exist? Why must Nigeria continue to pose a threat to the security of lives, properties, and trade in that region? Why? I do not understand why. There is no reason why Nigeria must keep posing a threat to the to those who are living around that region and the security of that region, the trade going on in that region. Now, before 2 days ago, the last time I was here, I did say we were going to discuss on this audio that I'm going to play now. And I hope you have listened to it. I will play it now so that we can take a listen to it. And then I will open up the line so that we can have a conversation towards it. But before I play it, I want to thank every single person who has joined us this morning. Those on Facebook, I want to thank you all. Otutu Oma, Omuchineke. Thank you all. I see your comments on Facebook. And I say thank you all. I see good morning. Yes, good morning to all of you. Thank you all for joining us. I will open up the line very soon. We will have a communication today. If you cannot call in, you cannot, and you have the opportunity to also comment on Radio Biafra. It is Radio Biafra on Facebook. That is where we are right now. Then you are also free. I will try to read your comments from there. But for now, let me play this clip. And do not forget that we do not have all the time in the world. As soon as I open up the line, please start calling in. Because as soon as the time runs out, we will end the program. Thank you all very much, and please do pay attention.
Number 6 for GDP in Nigeria. That was in 2021, which was a very violent year. So even amidst the violence, three of the 5 states in Southeast are Igbos in Nigeria. 73% said sometimes or always they were treated unfairly by the government. Igbos in Nigeria, 73% said sometimes or always they were treated unfairly by the government. This is last year. This is the highest rate of any ethnic group surveyed in Africa. In their view, they are sometimes or always treated unfairly by the government.
So is issue of injustice?
It is a deep grievance, and it's a disconnect from the Nigeria project, as was mentioned earlier. And I mentioned that number just to underscore the underlying grievance that has to be addressed. So amnesty is potentially part of a package, but the disconnect has to be addressed, and the Southeast is a core pillar of the Nigeria project. Comes back to the discussion of its importance. So all of these issues that are being discussed are inherently political. They're being seen through a political lens. For example, infrastructure, development. The grievance is you have a very productive region that is exporting not just to Nigeria, but internationally. You have, I think, Imo and Nnamdi are number 4 and number 6 for GDP in Nigeria. And that was in 2021, which was a very violent year. So even amidst the violence, three of the 5 states in Southeast are in the top 12 for GDP per capita. Yet there's no seaport. The bridges are not good. The roads are not good. So it is a development and infrastructure issue, but it's seen through a political lens as a political grievance. The same with security, which is you have significant deployment of security forces, yet the perception is the DPOs are not from Southeast, many of the officers are not from Southeast, they are not necessarily well-versed in the local context, and so they're not performing the role of community security in a way that they or other communities would expect. So that's a security issue, yes, but it's also perceived through a political lens, and it's the same with federal appointments and involvement in governance. So these are development, these are policy, these are economic issues, but they're seen through a broader political lens that they're not being kind of fairly adjudicated. And I think that's really important to underscore. So amnesty as part of a package may be a solution, but the underlying grievances have to be addressed with an understanding of the political perception, how the infrastructure problems, how the economic problems, how the security issues are perceived politically, and what it means to have a more representative involvement in those efforts from a Southeast perspective. Yes, it has to be a multi-stakeholder approach. The sensitive issues have to be addressed, and there needs to be involvement of the key stakeholders as this initiative is doing. That being said, in context like this, you might not move everybody over. You might not convince everybody. But where you make a serious effort and where you provide legitimate avenues, you will see a significant reduction in popular grievance that draws down support for extremism and makes it very difficult to operate. So a multi-stakeholder approach doesn't immediately solve all the problems, but it changes the trajectory, and it moves a lot of the public into using or trying to use the legitimate mechanisms again, as opposed to staying on the sidelines or even supporting extremist activity. So it's where you need to start, and it's the direction that you need to go.
Thank you all for being part of this. Thank you for listening. So that is the clip. I will just go ahead and open up the line so that we can have a conversation around this, because this clip hasn't really been out there in the public as it is supposed to. I encourage everybody to go ahead and share this clip as much as possible. I will try to also upload this clip shortly on Motherland. While we are having this conversation, I will try to upload it on Motherland so that we can really listen to it anytime we want to and share it. I will try to, but for now, let me just open up the line so that we can engage in this conversation, because this man is not, he's a Caucasian, talking about our problem, talking about what we are going through. We are the ones who are going through this, so we understand the problem. We understand what he is saying. We do understand it. And it would have been easy for him to just look the other way and say, okay, well, this is not my problem. Just like so many, so many of them look the other way. So many of them are also concerned, interested. And this man shows us that, yes, there are good people out there who are also interested in what we are doing. Let me open up the line now so that you can call in and give your opinion. The number to call is +27 78 064 5457 +24. Let me repeat: +24 78 064 5457. Personally, my opinion is that in the beginning, the speaker noted that the survey carried out concerning the opinion of the people of Southeast of Nigeria indicated that everyone there feels maligned, everyone there feels marginalized. And yes, I agree, rightfully so. First of all, I want to agree that that poll, which gives the percentage at over 70 something or over 70%, is not a misrepresentation. Although, if without poll, I would say that over 99% feels that way. This is a consensus, and he made it clear. He also admitted that it is a consensus. The people of Biafra feel maligned. We feel marginalized because we are marginalized. Let's not kid about it. That's the truth of the matter. We are marginalized. So I must commend this man for the analysis of what is happening to us, of what is happening in our land, especially since it is coming from a Caucasian. Like I said, he could have easily looked the other way and pretend not to see anything bad with the Nigerian system. The report he cited is clear about how Biafrans feel. It is very clear about how we feel. The report makes it clear that the attitude of Nigeria is strangulating us. The attitude of Nigeria as a country is strangulating to us. Their policies are policies that are against Biafrans, policies that are against Ndiwo. The man said that the consensus on how bad we are being treated in a country that we saw, that they saw us as part of, is the highest rate in any nation that they have surveyed in Africa. The highest. I just want to point that out a bit and also make us understand the significance of what he said. He said that it is the highest rate, the highest consensus in any nation they've surveyed in Africa. What that means is that according to their statistics, the statistics in question, Biafrans are automatically the most persecuted people in Africa. The most persecuted people in Africa, to the point that almost every Biafran can see this persecution, can taste it, can feel it, can see it. I remember one of our teachers here on Radio Biafra saying that the kind of persecutions that we have gone through, that no people will accept it. No people will accept to be persecuted the way that we have been persecuted. And these statistics clearly makes that clear. It says that the consensus on how bad we are being treated in Nigeria is the highest rate in any nation surveyed in Africa. The highest in any nation surveyed in Africa. To us, this does not come as a surprise. It doesn't come as a surprise because, like I said, we are the victims. We are those who are wearing the shoe. We know where the pain is. We know how painful it is. So it does not come to us as a surprise. Although I'm not sure how he reacted from such report. Maybe he was surprised. But to us, we are not. But I am sure that from his comment later, he now understands that there are unmistakable and genuine reasons why we feel this way. From his comment, he saw that there is no way you can mistake what we feel for any other thing. our reason for admitting that we are treated unfairly in Nigeria is unmistakable. It is genuine. Unmistakable in the sense that our suffering in the hands of Nigeria is very obvious. It is very obvious. If you have something to add, do not hesitate to call in. I repeat, the number to call is +27780645457. Let me also keep an eye on Facebook because perhaps you might want to comment on Facebook. Okay, somebody said the volume is down. I do apologize. The volume is not supposed to be down. But this is the highest that it can be. So yeah. So back to the message. Back to this message. You cannot mistake what we are going through. It is not possible. It is not possible. Unmistakable in the sense that our suffering in the hands of Nigeria, like I said, it is very obvious. It is so obvious that even the Nigeria army, they go around doing videos of their destructive missions in our land. They don't hide it. Nobody hides it. It's so obvious to the world that even the perpetrators themselves, they do not hide it anymore. They cannot. How can they hide it? Therefore, how do you mistake it? I don't think it is possible to mistake the genocide of over 7 million people as love. I don't think so. I don't think it is possible to mistake the lack of seaport. Whereas, according to the statistics that he read, Biafra land is very instrumental in the economic growth of Nigeria, according to him. He said despite the insecurity, Biafra land was amongst the leading, those leading in export, the export of resources. Despite us not having seaport. How can you mistake us not having seaport as love? How can you mistake us not having functional international airport as love? How can you mistake the lack of any serious development like good roads as love? How can you mistake having trains in all over Nigeria except in Biafra land? Rather than Biafra land, they took it to Niger. How can you mistake that as love? How can you mistake the dilapidated state of ITC, the transport company in Imo State, the transport companies in Abia State, in Enugu State, in different corners of Biafra land? But the Nigeria government budgeted millions and millions and bought cars and sent to Niger. How can you mistake such policies, such government policies as love? So it is unmistakable. You cannot mistake what we are doing or what we are saying or what we are going through. Today, their policy towards us is as bad as it was in 1945. The policy of Nigeria towards us is as bad as it was in 1945, in 1966, in 1967 to 1970, when they slaughtered over 7 million of us. Their policy has not changed. Still the same thing. Their policy is still the same. There is no good road. There is no constant power supply. There is no economic opportunity. The only policies that Nigeria has are policies that are aimed at killing us. Policies like they did in 1966 to 1970, where they said, we will not give food to you, we will not supply food to you, to your children. And they, according to statistics, 10,000 children were dying on a daily from starvation. It got to a point where 10,000 children were dying daily from starvation. And our people started leaving our land in droves in order to find help somewhere else, in order to try to survive. And today, that is still happening. Why? Because their policy did not change. It is still even worse than it used to be. The farmers, some farmers under the control of the Fulani people in the north, decided some time ago not to sell their crops to Biafrans. And what happened? Their crops got rotten. Excuse me. Their crops got rotten. And the same government went and paid them billions for rotten crops. Paid them billions for this, for their decision to starve a part of their so-called country. They were paid billions for that. How do you describe such? People who are supposed to be prosecuted, people who are supposed to be arrested and prosecuted, people who are supposed to end up in jail, the government paid them in billions. The government paid them in billions. The same policy that they had in 1967 to 1970 when they blockaded us and they tried to starve us into oblivion. That is the same policy that today they are marching on. They haven't changed. So we cannot mistake that for love. It is absolutely impossible to mistake that for anything different than what it is. I don't think it can be mistaken. Their policy is still to pauperize us. Their policy is still to kill us. And those who manage to survive, they make them poor. It hasn't changed. Their policy towards us has not changed a bit. Now, let me, excuse me for that. Let me play you a first-hand clip so that you understand why Biafrans are complaining, why Biafrans have said what they said according to the report. Let me play a clip for you. This is a Biafran woman, a victim of the Nigerian system. A Biafran woman who was telling her story. She was telling her story in the hands of the Nigerian state, in the hands of the Nigeria government, telling you how they were harvesting organs, how they were killing people on a daily in the in Okuzo, SARS Okuzo, harvesting organs, selling the people they slaughter. Imagine the barbarism. Imagine the policy of Nigeria. Those who are supposed to protect us are the ones killing us. Now listen to what she has to say.
IPOB, one family. Biko ụmụnne m ọmụnwa nwaada Ifeoma Igwe n'Olumba North, Oko Zone. Ọmụnwa 2YC n'Oko Zone. Ụmụnne m biko, o nwere ihe na-agbagbu, ihe na-ewute m anya, mmiri juru m anya. Mkpagbu a na-akpagbu anyị. Ọmụnwa wụkwa nwaada nke kabatara taa from prison, Mali prison Onitsha. Ọka ọkwa mụnwa na-ekwu ihe m hụrụ n'ọkụ ụzọ SARS o juru m anya ka esi egbu anyị slọta onye a na-eme anyị. Anọrọ m ebe one weekend wee hụkwa ka ekpokwe ụmụnne m wee bịa n'ihu m ka agbagburu mmadụ 5 wee na-ele ozu anyị agbagbuche akpọ ndị Hausa abịa na-egoro ozu anyị. Ka anyị meziri gịnị? Kedu ihe anyị mere? N'ihu m anya ma ndụ ekpojekwara na condemn cell ekpotacha anyị wee soro udo wee nye ọda si elelizikwa na ofu onye otu a ka esi awụ everyday a na-akpọfụta mmadụ 5 wee na-agbagbuchie akpọ ndị Awụsa wee bịa na-egolo ozu anyị ebeketere m akwa emeri igbu ketere m n'ihu anya m ụmụnne m ndị anyị niile na-ejeche parliament na Olifte onye a ka esi ha lụrụ 100 and onye a ka esi achịtaba ebeketere m akwa onye bụ nwanne ya a na-ajụ nke ụdị ihe eji agbagbu ahụ a na-ajụ akwa ịmụ onye a na-edina anyị na onwe ekwu onye ma onye ọbụla a na-agọrọ n'isi onwe ma stil a na-agbagbu na prison m njero ọ ka nwekwara onye nke nwaanyị ibe m kwa akpụtakwala ebe ahụ mụ na ya akọwa ihe na-emere m ka emekwere mana from Enugu steeti onwe ndubeba nwaanyị ya ndị onye ọ nọ n'Ọnịcha Mari prison ndubeba amadụ n'ọnụ onwe ka anyị esi loketi m ha n'ala fon wee gbukete mmadụ akpụtara ha 6 n'ihu anyị aka egburu mmadụ 5 sọsọ ya gwọrọ ewe mekete ihe niile emere ekpụtazie anya prison ebe a ka mụ na ya nọ wee kọwaa ọhụrụ na nwanne ka mụ na ya wụ anyị mekọba rikọba maka na onye nụrụ onu nwanne ya ọnụrude nwanne ya agba n'ọsọ anyị mekọba ebe a ka m nọkwa wee kpọbakwa ụmụnne m siba na anyị edokwa na ụmụkwere onye ọzọkwa nọkwa ebe a nwa wee na-ata ahụsị nsị nwanyị ya ndị ụmụnne ya ọ na-ebe akwa na-asị m na ụmụnne ya si ya shi n'otu afọ ya wee sịba na o nwere ihe o mere n'ọnụ ya na ọnya nwa ji aka ya bata na onwekwere na ihe o mere a na-asị anya pụọ ụmụnne m ikwu emu ibe ya na-abịa eneta ya nwa wee tọgbọrọ wee na-anwụ ọ ka m batazi mụ na ya kọwachara onwe ihe ụmụnne m wetakwa mụ na ya na-ataburu na-emekwa nwanne mụ ịbụ ntata m na-anata o bekatara akwa jide m na-ebe akwa ha chụchie ihe azụ mụ si ya don't worry na ebe ọnwụ na m anatawago na ihe dị iche ya ada ebe ọ nọ ọnya ka m bata wee kọbara ụmụnne m abịa wụ Chinelo from Enugu steeti Udi Enugu steeti ka Chinelo Okeọcha wụ afa ya ọnya ka nsị ka m gwakwa unu na ihe a na-eme anyị na ọkụzụ ọ ka nwedoro ndị nọ na ọkụzụ o nwere ka unu ya esi wee gbaja ọsọ enyemaka everyday by day a na-ekputekwa a na-egbu anyị obi agbawa na m agwụchara m ihe m hụrụ na ọkụzụ obi wee gbawa m everyday chiegwu na-ekpota anyị na-agbagbu kedu ihe anyị mere mana agaghị egbuchi anyị niile once anyị niile a ga-anwụchi ofu ụbọchị kama na ihe mmanwụ na anyị ga-enweta Biafra ga-eru anyị aka anyị a ga-anwụcha ofu ụbọchị ha na-egbu anyị mana anyị agha anwụcha na-enwe ihe ọnwụ na anyị mere na anyị chọrọ nnwere onwe anyị chọrọ ịnaba anyị ka eji wee na-asụlọta anyị na-ekwu onu soro udo wee ibu ndị osoro udo si n'obel out ewee na-egbu ebe a na-egbu na-akpọgbu ọbara na-ana ọbara n'iyi ndeewo na ụmụnne m.
It is unmistakable what we are going through. You cannot mistake it for love. Listen to the story of this, our sister. Listen to it. Did you listen to her story? That every day they would slaughter at least 5 people in front, just right there in front of her. These are the ones they slaughter in her presence. What about the ones they probably are slaughtering at different places in her absence? And this is just in one facility, government one. And the crazy thing is, this is government facility, Nigeria government security facility that is supposed to provide security for the people. This is where they are slaughtering the people. Why do we have security services of the Nigerian government in our land? Why do we have them? What are they there for? They are there to promote the interest, the policies of the Nigerian government, their policy of marginalization, the policy of genocide. People who did nothing, people who committed no crime, people who committed no offense, rounded up by the army, by the police, by different security agencies in Nigeria and slaughtered. Why? simply because they are Biafrans. To be an Igbo, to be an Efik, to be an Orobo, to be an Ibibio, to be an Anang, whatever you associate yourself with in Biafra land, to be that to Nigeria is a crime, worst, it's way more than a crime, because at least the crime, you take the person to the court. Now let the court adjudicate. But in Nigeria, they have, even the government itself understand what they have done with their courts, that they do not have any kind of trust with the court. I am talking about why we feel the way we feel. You cannot mistake our desire for freedom for any other thing, because you cannot mistake what is happening to us as love. You cannot mistake it as any other thing except the hatred that it is. Except the hatred that it is. No one can deny that our struggle is genuine. No one. Nobody can deny that this struggle is genuine. Nobody can deny that. It is a reason born out of our basic human need for survival. You cannot stand and allow to be killed without doing anything. You must rise up and protect yourself. You must rise up and defend yourself. You must rise up and take back what belongs to you and say, no, enough is enough. How long will somebody kill you and you stand? Like what is happening in Benue State. What is happening in Benue State? There was this report that they came back to kill them and they found the men armed. They found them armed and they killed one of them. They went back and killed one of them back. And what happened? As soon as they did that, they went and called their defenders, the Nigeria Army. The Nigeria Army now rushed and stepped in. Rushed and stepped in to defend terrorists. So what we are doing is a response to the situation that Nigeria government has forced us into. Yes, Ashley, we Biafrans need to emancipate ourselves. And okay, you said we need emancipation and need to be emancipated from Zoo Nigeria that has extremely marginalized us. That is true, and it cannot be mistaken. You cannot mistake that for love. You cannot mistake marginalization for love. You cannot. You know, recently there was this video of one of our brothers. Like I said, the line is open. You can call in and have your opinion heard concerning the clip I played earlier on. I hope you listened to it. So there is this our brother, a clip of our brother who came out. He's a social media person and one of those content creators, and he came out. He complained about the destruction of houses in Enugu State, and he complained because it reached his turn. Now he reacted. He reacted because it reached his turn. He understands that things are bad. Does he not? He do understand that things are bad. The fact of the matter is, whether we put our head under the sound and pretend like we are not saying it, we all know what is happening. He knows what is happening. He had to even call on people to beg and plead with the government not to destroy his property. Not to destroy his property. If he was part of those surveyed, he would have said the same thing. Yes. Even those that you see that are not speaking, everybody knows what is happening. You know that your life in Nigeria is in danger. It is just a matter of time. This woman, our sister, is complaining today. Tomorrow, it will be another person complaining. It might be you. the influential person, the person that has money, the person that has connections. So what is happening in Nigeria, the attitude of Nigeria to Biafrans is not even, it doesn't even talk about class. No. It doesn't even talk about position that you have reached in politics. Even in politics, they still marginalize you, they still treat you like you are nothing. Because it is a policy against all of us. All of us. It doesn't matter whether you are useful to them or not. It is a policy against all of us to marginalize us and to make sure that we are not productive. So we are justified in our reasoning. Our reason that we need to free ourselves from this contraption. We are justified. We don't just think it. We don't just think, oh, this thing. No. We know firsthand of this experience. What this commentator is said in the clip that I played earlier on. The marginalization. The insecurity. The policies of the government against Biafrans. We know it firsthand. Therefore, we are justified in our reasoning. We are victims of grave injustice. Grave injustice of genocidal proportion. Therefore, our struggle is genuine. The worst is that for over 50 years that this genocide has happened, the international community has failed to recognize it for what it is. That's even what is crazy. The international community has failed to recognize this genocide for exactly what it is, a crime against humanity. To say that a grave injustice has been committed against us is not a pity party. No. It is a statement born out of genuine concern for our safety as a people. It is a statement born out of genuine concern for our safety. And this is why I like what this man said. I applaud him for being bold enough to understand that there is a serious need to safeguard the lives of Biafrans. There is a serious need to protect the lives of the Biafran people. And very soon I will read you the news so that you see what is happening in Nigeria. How can we live in such a place and expect to develop as a people? How is that possible? How can we develop as a people living in such a state? It is not possible. No one can advance past the level that Nigeria has subjected everybody to. Nobody can. As long as we want to move forward, we must be able to break ourselves from this stranglehold of the zoo. The speaker went on to say that the grievances we are having is seen as a political issue. And I agree with him. That is right. I agree with him. It is a political issue. And it doesn't matter how far back we go in Nigeria's history. You will only find politicians fanning the disconnect. The disconnect that he spoke about. You find them fanning it. You have a country where politicians went out of their way to pay terrorists to come into the country. A place where APC members went out of the country, paid terrorists in order to come and help them to win election, in order to come help them kill the people they want to govern, they want to rule over. How then will the same politicians make policies to better the lives of the people? How then will such politicians make policies? You have a country where the court is in the pocket of the Nigeria government. You have a country where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was abducted and brought into Nigeria by force by the government. And the Minister of Justice, the then Minister of Justice was aware. He was part of those who planned and executed this lawlessness, this crime. This is the Nigeria that you have. So how is it possible that such people can ever improve or get anything going for us? It is not possible. Today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is incarcerated in the DSS dungeon. And the justice system is helping to keep him there. For how long now? Everybody, there is no Nigerian that has any kind of hope in the justice system of Nigeria. But Nigerians keep pushing. We keep pushing. Now look at 3 years now, the Nigeria court of Binta Nyako, the Nigeria court of whoever they put there in their Supreme Court, has made sure that this man who is wronged, who has been wronged by the Nigeria government, is kept there. How are we not supposed to complain about that? How are we not supposed to? Everybody is seeing it. Everybody is seeing it. Our complaint is genuine. Very genuine. How can we not complain? It is a political problem that created the lack of development, lack of infrastructures that he referred to. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is supposed to be sitting on a table having a discussion about our referendum. But no, the politicians went and abducted him. I know I did say that there is something I disagree with him about in the conversation. It is the part where he talked about amnesty as a solution or part of the solution. I disagree because I really do not understand the effect of amnesty in what we are doing. Because I also do not understand who is the amnesty for. Is it for the government that created this mess or for those who are suffering the mess? Is the amnesty for the government that are making these policies that make sure that those who are calling for a referendum are subjugated to all manners of ills, all manners of tortures, all manners of abductions, rape, killings? Are they the ones who should be given amnesty? Or is it the people who are suffering it? The people who have been subjugated, the people who have their economic way of life distorted, the people who have no functional government amenities. So I don't think amnesty has anything to do with the solution. It can't be that the people who are suffering in the hands of Nigeria are the ones who amnesty should be given, that should be calling for. No. We are the ones wearing the shoe. We know where it pinches the most. We know the solution. And we have given the solution to the Nigeria government. We have given the solution, which is a UN supervised referendum. If that is a no-no, then outright freedom. Outright freedom. Not amnesty. Outright freedom. That is what we want. Victims don't need amnesty. Victims need freedom from their oppressor. And we have been victimized for far too long. As we speak, the man who is speaking out about the same issues of injustice against us is in DSS dungeon. Somebody speaking out against injustice is in DSS dungeon. What we need is outright freedom from the zoo. That is what we need, not amnesty. That is where I disagree with him. But I also understand that a lot of people, including Nigerians themselves, make a blind eye out of what we are going through. It has gotten so bad that even Biafrans now are now part of those who are pretending not to see the ills. It has gotten so bad that even those who are victims have now are now looking the other way. So, in as much as this man is presenting what he thinks can work, you are the one going through it, so you know what will work better than anybody else. Better than anybody else. This is coming from a non-Nigerian. This is coming from somebody who there is no interest. No interest. As a matter of fact, like Trump said, some of his friends, when they are broke, they come to Africa to make money. Easy money. All you need to do is just go to the government, be a Caucasian like him, like the man who I played this clip. Be a Caucasian and just go to the government and they will give you one juicy contract as long as you are not black. He could have been saying, oh, okay, you know, why should I campaign for these people? After all, when I campaign for them, when I speak up for them, when I talk about their problems, I am bringing more attention to their problems and therefore a solution will be found. Why don't I just keep quiet? After all, even some of our people are quiet. Why don't I just keep quiet? And then let them die. I'll just go take the oil, take the resources. But no, he spoke up. He presented the facts. He presented a fact that they did a survey out of, which means they even went through a process. They spent time and effort in order to research, in order to find out what the problem is. So how can I not commend such a man? How can I not thank such a man? How can we not share such information with the world? Just like every 30th May when we remember those who sacrificed their lives for us, those who made it possible for us to be here, when we remember them, we do not forget people like Bruce Mayrock. Bruce Mayrock. Imagine what he did for us, sacrificing himself for the Biafran people, seeing his life as not worth more than the lives of Biafrans that are being massacred by his brothers. How can we not commend or talk about such people? How can we not see such a person as a saint? How can we not see such a person as a saint? I have a caller. Caller, you are live on Radio Biafra. Please introduce yourself and go ahead with your opinion. Ndewo.
Mazi Sochima. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mazi, the dog pusher. I'm calling from Biafra land. And I want to use this opportunity to greet every Biafrans. A special greeting to our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I wish him more years ahead, that he will live and see Biafra come. Biafra must be restored. And it is true what you people are doing. The word of hope from this platform. Every morning when I wake up, I will be hearing your voice. Likewise, other brothers and friends. Mazi, I don't even know where to start, but if you can allow me to speak my dialect, I will love it.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Toto Mandabany. Anime eji ya no toto we na assume ihe a na-agụrụ anyị every day mbọsị ọbụla chefu na n'igwe a na-akụziri anyị ihe dịka ụmụ akwụkwọ obere nwa ihe ụmụaka nọziri skuul na-aba kụzichara ihe na skuul ịnata ha ewere na-agụ egwu that is to show na ha na-amụta ihe ha kụziri ha mana kedụzi ihe mere na anyị nwa bụ okenye zugoro ọtụtụ n'ime anyị dịka mụa agbago m isi awọ mmadụ afọ ọzọ ụmụazị na-akụziri anyị agụmakwụkwọ niile anyị gụrụ jechee ma yunivesiti ma ndị rere na zụọ n'ụlọ akwụkwọ enwere ike ige ntị nọrụ mara na ihe a bụ ndụ na nke a bụ ọnwụ amaghị m ihe anyị ji bụrụ ihe nwanne bụ pụtara asụrụ ya n'oyibo asụrụ ya n'igbo gịnị bụ nwanne ndị ahụ anyị were na ha agụ ha akwụkwọ na-eme nwanne gbakọ ha ka ọ na-azụ onwe ha ụzọ ọbụla ha kwurịtara nke ọbụla ha kwuru na ha ga-eme dịkọta ọnụ mechie ya ike ndị okenye n'ime ha ndị nne na ndị nna ha kwado ha kpụrụ ha n'azụ dịzi ihe nke anyị nwa ji edizi iche ọ bụrụ sọsọ ego na akwụkwọ na-agwụ amin ndụ na akwụkwọ na-agwụ mana ego adịrị agwụ ego dịkwa ga-adịgidekwa maka na mmadụ na-akpata ego a anyị na-emefu osi n'aka onye a ofe n'aka onye a osi n'aka onye a ofe n'aka onye a mana onye nwụrụ anwụgo ọ ga-apụtazikwa ụwa ọzọ ndị nna nna anyị ma ndị nna anyị anwụgoro ọtụtụ n'ime anyị na-enwe nne ọ naghị apụtakwa ọzọ and that is the demarcation between the living and death. Ọkwa n'ebe aka Chukwu si egosi anyị na Chukwu dị n'agbanyeghị na anyị anaghị efe Chineke n'ụzọ kwesịrị na ụzọ nke anyị n'ụzọ nke ndị nna anyị akụziri anyị ji na-efezi ya n'ụzọ nke ndị mba ọzọ and those are one of our problem. Ka anyị kekene na ụmụnne anyị ntị n'onu sochi mmanụ ebe akịta ọ bụrụ na enwere ihe ọra masị alụzi ọ bụrụ na enwere aka ọrụ ọ bụrụ na ọ dịghị eriju afọ ka m ga-ejizi onye ndu anyị nọ n'ime n'ụlọ nga wee na-ata afụfụ kemgbe how many years now ọ bụrụ na ọ dịghị enwere ego o si from royal family asị o kwesịrị ịpụtara na data onwe afọ mana o nwere ịhụnanya n'ime ya mere o ji wepụta ohere na-agbasa ozi a na-eti mkpu niile ma still ndị niile gụchara yunivesiti anyị amara ihe bụ freedom onye nwere onwe ya ga-eme ihe ọbụla sọrọ ya mgbe sọrọ ya iri agụgọ rie ya mgbe ọ sọrọ mgbe anyị dị n'ụmụazị ka mụ na-atụ my father tinye aka n'ofe egota anụ na-asị kemgbe m ga-abụrụ oke ka m nwee ike ịdị na-agụta anụ mgbe ọbụla sọrọ m and that is freedom for me. Now no more than use all that na my family nwunye m ma ụmụ m ha nchere nọ under me likewise ọ bụ na enwe freedom you can be able to talk to government direct stand at the front of the government house and speak loud and the government will listen to you. Who is that government, by the way? You went to school, you are a graduate, you are an engineer, you are even some of them that call themselves lawyer. You went to law school and know what is right and what is wrong. Human right. And now n'ekumuna ekpesara n'obodo oyibo na-ata afọ bụ are we going to remain slave forever? Onye Igbo jụọ n'onwe ya ajụjụ Biafra, ask yourself this question. Are we going to remain enslaved forever? Oge ihe egbe si ije gbagbuo nwanne gị igbo nwanne ya nke nwa ihe ahụ ị chọrọ inweta gị ya ebe ahụ ị na-echere ka iru gị ya ihe ahụ o kwere na nkwa enyego gị ya ọ bụgodị na enye gị ya can you remain on that power forever? No. Ọchịchị Nigeria as we do 4 years 8 years irituo isorokwa ibe gị kpagharị ịnọrọkwa under go to another person under another person's command. Gee ntị n'onu ka anyị gbakọ na aka wee kwuo ya mgbe chikada Chinejikwa biko Maazị Sochima jisie n'ike please unu asịkwana na nke unu kwuru na anyị adịghị anụ ya anyị na-anụ ya jisie n'ike ọ ga-eru anyị aka na mgbe na-adịghị anya Chineke nna ga-abụrụ enyemaka anyị anyị ga-enweta ya ụzọ sitere ha Chukwu oke abịa ma bụrụ ya pụrụ ihe niile ise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wala said it all. He has said it all. We like I said, this man is somebody who has nothing to gain. And look at, he came out publicly, made analysis on what is happening in our land, and he came out to actually give information on what is happening in our land. What about us, those who are actually suffering the consequences, those who are there in the fire, feeling the heat? What about us? What are we ready to do for ourselves? A stranger who has nothing to benefit is able to come out and speak for you and say, look, these people I mean, they report. We had to even conduct a report. We had to conduct the report. And this and this and that is what the people said. And not only that the people said this, they have their reasons. And he came out, he gave reasons: lack of development, economic reasons, security reasons, infrastructural reasons. He gave the reasons. What about you that is the one feeling it? The one that is feeling it. What about you? What reason are you giving? Where are you speaking? What are you doing? Let's say you are not speaking. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? We must ask ourselves these questions. We must ask ourselves these questions. We have been so maligned to the point where we now are gradually accepting what has been said about us. How can you accept something that is not true about yourself? How? How do you do that? You cannot allow somebody to tell you a story of who you are. No. I played the clip of our sister. Our sister from that was at Sazokuzu. That was held at Sazokuzu by the Nigeria police. And her experience. Nobody can tell me that this is your first time of hearing about the atrocities of Sazokuzu. You cannot say that. But then, what are we doing about it? We have people who say they are interested in this and that and that. They are interested in this and that and that. That everything happening in our land is also disturbing to them. But is it really?
Hello, Mazi.
Yes, you are live on Radio Biafra. Is it really disturbing to them? What are they doing? Please introduce yourself, your name, and where you just introduce yourself and your opinion. Dewo.
Okay, Mazi. Good morning. I hope I'm coming around.
You are. Good morning to you too.
Okay. My name is Nobi Chukwaloka Chimezia. I'm calling from Waka. We are Biafran. Mazi, I want to make a suggestion.
Yes.
Please, please, I want, if it can be possible for you to be having a repeat broadcast, you know, maybe from 10 to 12 or from 5 to 7, you know, because the stress in this part of the world is very, very many. So some people cannot wake up to join the program.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
For me, sometimes if I wake up early, I will join, but sometimes I will not join, and I won't even know, I don't even have a place to listen to your broadcast.
Yeah.
So thank you. That's what I want to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. I really appreciate. And I used to have a program in the evening from 5 to 7. I used to have the program Motherland. I'm sure some of you know, from 5 to 7. So we are also looking into bringing that back, bringing in Motherland back, so that every evening from 5 to 7 we can continue the discussion that we started in the morning. So that we started discussion in the morning, in the evening those who were unable to call in can also call in. Those who were even able to call in the morning can also call in, so that we can be able to continue having our conversation. But that is something that we are still working on. That is something we are working on. As soon as that is possible, we'll bring it. If not, we'll still find a way. No, thank you very much for your suggestion. I thank you very much. I have a caller on the line. Caller, you are live on Radio Biafra. This is Sunrise. Please go ahead, introduce yourself and your opinion. There we go.
Yeah, Mazi Sochima. Good morning from here. Great Biafrans.
Good morning. You are not very audible. Sorry. Your line is not so audible, so loud. I can barely hear you.
We are in the zoological. I don't know. My phone is okay.
Can you try?
Are you hearing me now? Okay. Hello?
Yes, okay. You are coming out a bit clearer now, a bit louder now. Please go ahead.
Alright, my name remains Mazi Ejike. I'm calling from blessed land of Biafra. Our leader remains Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. One of Biafra land, the only man who said no to evil. Our God is the creator of heaven and earth. We are Biafrans. We are not Nigerian, and we can never be. We have been subjected to answer this evil country called Nigeria, but only the living ones, the great ones, will separate ourselves from these people. So great Biafrans, what we need to do is what? Stand up and say enough is enough. We have endured this thing. We have enjoyed it, suffer it. Why, Igbo man, let me ask you, can you be like this forever? Can you be slave to those that you are better than of? God created us very well. He made us to understand that we are a great people. But in the mind of evil people, we want to follow those who are joining Oboni fraternity to destroy humanity. Nigeria is evil. Nigeria is a country who are destroying the destiny of their citizens. I ask our people, there is something we need to know. Nigeria, we can never breathe in this kind of country. As far as they hate our fathers, they will continue unless we said no, the way our leader said it. Our leader is already done his work. He made us to have voice, where we can speak, where we can listen, where we can learn from each other. That is Radio Biafra from you. If you think that you learn something from church or religion, no. Those people are those among people that hold us down. So Chimwambara, you see, there is something you said this morning. I want to ask. You see these politicians, I call them evil politicians. What we are suffered now, I told people that we don't have witchcraft, we don't have demon that train people. what we have here that disturbing us evil politicians. Today, everybody is saying insecurity. Who recruited that insecurity? Who formed those insecurity that we are suffering today? Politicians. They invited all manner of evil people who don't care people's life to come and help them to defeat their brothers. Ordinary election, because you want to be in power. Now, everybody is afraid now. Nwoke is afraid. Why is afraid? Okenya is afraid. Nwata is afraid. Who will save us? Who will save us? They already, look at it, when this man, people telling us that being a truthful man, being this one, being a good person is most important things. I ask those people that are teaching us, all these religious leaders who are talking all those things. Bora made Tulumbu. The way he is ruling Nigeria now, is it the way your God said that is how we're supposed to be? Everybody is supposed to ask all those questions to all these religious leaders, because they are saying when you say God will fight for us. Let us agree that we should fold our hands and leave the fight of God for God to fight for us. And everybody are looking. There is some teachings that are holding us down. When you see something that came to kill you, you say God will fight your battle. As you, as a person, that God created you only to fight for you. Those people who are coming to destroy you, the same God that created them. Let us open our mind and think. All these things that we are talking about, day and night. Our leaders started this thing from 2012 till today. We still telling our people to wake up. All these things we are forcing ourselves to be one Nigeria, because in the Nigeria where people you want to go to rule because you want to steal like others, nobody is going there to do something good. They are there for their family and their stomach. They don't care whether all of us die. They don't care. It did not touch. They can never listen. They can never fight for you or try to do something that will betterment of all promises. No. So as far as you wake up every morning, go to your shop, go to your work. That is how you're supposed to wake up and think, what is going on? Who is suffering us like this? Is he not that politician? But when he came, you know that this is your evil. This is that witchcraft that fighting you. When he talk, you go there and collect 5 naira, 10 naira from the same evil. But you are in the church. They are telling you, Satan do this, Satan do that. You never see Satan. Our people, our fathers said it. We call Ekwensu because when you Ikwe Osu, all the one human being, Ikwe Osu, Abun Ikwe Romansu. So our people, our fathers may everything or the open for us to reason. These people are the witchcraft, politicians, and their angel is religious leaders who are guiding them, who are subjugated people, subjugated masses that are coming around them to tell them the truth. That is what is holding us down. So, great Biafrans, he said all these things. Area is better. We said no to. We must sacrifice many things before we can be free. If not, what we are doing is to make sure that we enlighten ourselves. After we bring out what is holding us, how do we solve it? We said no. If they call you to come and collect or fill form that they want to give you this or go, tell them no. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Our leader must be released. Our leader must be released. What we are asking for, release our leader. What he did is the normal what we want him to do. He teach us. He tell us. He never one day tell our people to go and kill innocent people. What he tells us to defend yourself from Fulani killers, from Fulani kidnappers. Today they are all over the place. Everybody is afraid. When you fly up, you must surely come down. That place you think you build, every politicians, one day we meet you there, because you think that you can run away. No, you have already bring the devil to us, and the devil must chasing you until you leave us alone to be the way other people are living. Thank you, Mazi. Support ESN, pray yourself hard. Remove fear from your eyes. We must only us can say no to it. Thank you, Mazi. May Lord bless all the Biafra.
Thank you very much. And this is where we bring it to an end. I cannot answer any further call. Remember, I did say please call early. The line was open for more than 1 hour, and nobody called in the beginning, so it's already the end of the program. I know I see a lot of calls coming in still, but unfortunately I cannot answer anymore because it's already the end of the program. I just want to encourage you. Sometimes we keep saying the same thing over and over and over. Maybe not for you, because you already have heard the news. You have had the good news. You have accepted the good news, and you have doing something. You are making progress. Maybe not for you, but there is somebody else who needs to hear, because if we all have heard this news, then the progress that you are making, the other person will be making it. And today I brought this information from this man, a Caucasian, a white man. Let me see if I will find his name. His name is someone's let me not make a mistake. Let me see. Santiago Stalkers. Santiago Stalker, that is his name. This man he doesn't have to come out and try to find what your problem is. No, he doesn't need to do any research in order to actually find your problem. No, but he did it. Why did he need to do a research? Because he wanted to find out what is going on. And you that know what is going on, what are you doing? Are you giving information? Are you sharing posts like this to others who you know these people are in the dark? They are blind. What are we doing? This might not be for you. Maybe you are doing all that you can. There are also others who we need to wake up. There are also others who need to wake up. So there are people that still needs to wake up, and we are doing that job, waking up our people. What is happening at Anambra State, like our sister informed us, it is shameful. How can we allow such to be happening in our land, our own land? How can we allow such to be happening in our land? And there you have people who, remember, it was you have pastors all over the places. You have Ndi Dibia. You have Ndi. These days people are saying Ndi this and Ndi that. Titles without any impact. What are we doing? You have SARS killing your children right before your eyes. Right before your eyes. Selling their organs right before our eyes. And what are we doing to stop it? It is happening. Have we sat down at night or during the day to think, how can I personally, what kind of plans can I make in order to contribute into stopping this? Because human beings, they kill this one, they kill another one until it gets to our turn. So we cannot sit down and say no, no, we must rise up and say enough is enough. We must rise up and say enough is enough. Enough of this. I know you are ready. I know you are ready. Listening to me right now, I know you are ready. You are ready. Wake others up. Wake others up. The time is almost here. We are already there at the time where our freedom is guaranteed. There is no maybe or maybe not. It is guaranteed. Our leader said so. A few days ago, Mazi was here. He said so. Our freedom is guaranteed. And at this juncture, I want to thank the Directorate of States of the Indigenous People of Biafra. I say kudos to them. Well done to all of them. Wonderful, wonderful people. And I also want to thank the Eastern Security Network defending our land. I mean, what can we do without you people? You people, when I said some people, they know. They have woken up. They are doing what they can. These people I mentioned are wonderful people who are doing all that they can. They know what it takes to build a nation. They know what it takes for people to enjoy the freedom. Hey, freedom, you go and protest like they've been protesting in Europe, because they fought for it, because they did what they had to do in order to bring their freedom. Now it is our time. Let us not wait for white people to come and speak for us. Let us not wait for Jesus to come and defend us. Let us not wait for anybody to come and wake us up or wake our brother or sister. We must do that job by ourselves. It is our time to liberate ourselves. It is our time to free ourselves from slavery. And this is where I'll leave it. I encourage you to go around your business today with your head up. Don't let anybody intimidate you. Do not let anybody. You know what? You survived. How can you let somebody intimidate you? You have survived enough. You have survived a lot. Nobody can intimidate you. No man, no woman can intimidate you. Not even spirit can intimidate you. Thank you very much, and do have a wonderful, wonderful day. Day one.